Alright, hello everyone, I'm Beeps. This is my first attempt at a first low percent X ice tutorial. So, this tutorial is going to be intended for those who have never done a low percent X ice run before, that's the intended audience, but I'm fully expecting everyone who is seriously considering doing this to have already finished a standard low percent ice run before, because this should never be anyone's first attempt at low percent. So, before we even get started, I'm going to say that this video will be uploaded to YouTube, and there will be timestamps in the video description, and as well as a pinned comment. And this will also be posted to Crocomi.re, and I'll post the link in chat. It will be posted to Crocomi.re 222. So there are a few sections I will not go into too much detail, as those are gone over extensively in other tutorials. I'll still show them off, but some of the things like, for example, the Ridley section, I'm going to just post a tutorial, and it's a really good one. So there's also the early extra tutorial and my own Draygon tutorial. I'm going to go over Mount Everest in this tutorial, but there are supplemental tutorials I'm going to post as well. So this is going to be a pretty long video, so I'm actually going to post the links in chat right now. All those links will be in the description of the YouTube video as well. So, for y'all's sake, I'm going to start on Series Station. I'm basically going to play through the entire game, except I'm going to use save states everywhere and stuff, just to kind of show you. So, first of all, these are my controls, and I do in fact use Moonwalk. Don't use Icon Cancel, it should be set to manual, always. And, well, here we go, may as well just get started quickly. So I use default, except I flip item select and item cancel. So the first 5 minutes of the run are the same as standard any %. So I'm also doing this in the practice ROM, because, well, the practice ROM will allow me to do just things that will help show things off, like refill health, do all that sort of thing. Refill health, like teleport. I'm also going to be using save states pretty heavily in this. And, well, the reason I'm intending this for more or less people who have never done X-Ice before is because, looking at the leaderboard, there's only 6 runs on there, and those are Zost, Bro Battalion, myself, King of the Hill, Matrick, and ED. Or actually, ED and then Matrick. Or by ED, I mean Eternized Dragon. So, the first thing y'all may be wondering is, what makes X-Ice different from a standard low percent ice? And for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to refer to what most people call low percent ice as standard low percent ice, because this is technically also low percent ice, so yeah. Basically, what makes this different from standard low percent ice is you pick up X-ray instead of gravity suit. So there will be some weird X-ray shenanigans going on in this run, and I'm going to teach you how to do that as well. But specifically, the items you pick up are Morph Bombs, Varia, Charge, Ice, 2 missiles, 2 supers, 2 power bombs, 2 E-tanks, and 1 reserve tank. And if you didn't catch that, don't worry. Most of those items are actually basically the same as standard low percent, but you do have to get certain tanks instead of the normal ones, and I'll be sure to call those out. So I will be using Moonwalk this run. You don't technically need Moonwalk. I'm going to show how to do some of these strats without Moonwalk. That Moonfall is not necessary. You do not need to Moonfall at all in this run. So the beginning of this run is pretty standard. So you just go in, go down. Actually, I guess I can talk about the route a little bit. So you go in, go down here, get morph, missiles, bombs. Then you go to Brinstar, do some item pickup. And the route I'm going to be showing you is KPDR, though this tutorial also goes over PKDR, but which is ever so slightly faster if done optimally, but I don't think it's necessarily worth it, personally. I'll go over that more when we get the Red Tower. So you go in, get your first missiles, and the next missile pack I'm gonna get is... Actually, I guess I can tell you exactly which ammo packs I'm gonna get. So for E-Tanks, which is not ammo, you get Terminator and Botwound Tank, and Brinstar Reserve. And those 3 tanks are the most important ones to get. For missiles, you get first missile, emote missile, supers, you get the wreck ship left side and early super. And for the last one, power bombs, you get that in Red Tower. It is also worth noting I am playing on NTSC. This category can be done on NTSC and PAL. There are a few categories that require you to be playing on the PAL version of the game. That is not going to be relevant at all during this tutorial. It's just that sometimes I see people confuse the categories, like, oh, is Excise a PAL category? And no, it can be done in NTSC. So, get bombs, and then do your BT fight. Pretty simple stuff right now. It only starts to get complicated at Red Tower. Mess up that BT a little bit, but it's not going to matter in the long run. I just realized I am in the wrong layout. Give me just a moment to fix that. Okay. And well, I'm doing the Excise tutorial right now, so I don't need that in there. So I didn't get the ammo I wanted, so I'm going to... There we go. There are actual movement tutorials out there, so I'm not going to go too in-depth with the movement here. I'm going to get rid of that text because it's not necessary. Because we are doing a tutorial right now. To start off getting early supers, this is exactly the same as any percent right now, but it's about to get a bit different. Okay, messed up the damage boost. That's okay. And we're gonna get the R tank, and that's the only thing we're gonna get in here. We don't care about anything else. It's faster to get the reverse Morph Ball there, though it won't be necessary for this tutorial, but I did go for it. So the first thing you need to be careful of is, well, basically what you're careful of in standard low percent. Don't grab the missile in Pink Brin. Yeah, this missile down here, that missile right there is deadly. Don't get it. And you're gonna need Charge Beam. So we're coming up on Red Tower, and depending on how confident you are with Phantoon, you may want to go up Red Tower or go down Red Tower. Yo, ED, how you doing? So, right here, if you go... So I did some timing, and I did some room calculation stuff, and going up Red Tower is only 4 room tiles faster than going down Red Tower. So, basically what I'm saying is, if you feel uncomfortable with Phantoon, go down with Red Tower first. Like, if you're gonna play Phantoon safe because you don't have Varia, go down Red Tower. Like, it is completely worth it. Because you will lose all the time on Phantoon if you play it safe. Like, all the time you would have saved. So, I'm gonna go down for now. It saves very little time to go up Red Tower because you have to do a bunch of trips back down. So, this is gonna be a KPDR route. There are other routes that, like, KRDP, which are beyond the scope of this tutorial, because this is more teaching you how to get your first run into category more than anything. So if you're interested in talking about KRDP and other things like that, we can do that in DMs or something, or like after tutorial or whatever. But for now, that is beyond the scope of this. But Red Tower is when the routes really diverge. So, I messed up my ammo a little bit right there. I'm gonna have to wait for a super. Here we go. But yeah, doing Phantoon first is technically faster, but very slightly. It's just very slight. Got the crate quick kill. And Varia. So, one thing to keep an eye out for is Crate Tank. You absolutely do not want to pick up Crate Tank in this category. So, one of the few things that people don't really think about is R-Tanks. Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab this super, why not? Because R-Tanks can save you the Rainbow Beam. You can get up to 2 R-Tanks, but you only need 1. Oops. So, an R-Tank just replaces a meat tank. And yeah, again, do not get Crate Tank. It will kill your run. Or, well, it won't actually kill your run, but it'll make things a lot harder later if you get it. I'm not going to go over to strat if you do get Crate Tank, but take my word for it, it's very slow and kind of painful. So you go into Norfair, pick up Ice Beam, and then head right back up. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to do Maridia right after this, and the reason you don't go down to Ridley first, I guess the big thing is, if you go do Phantoon... Wait a minute, let me think about routing really fast. Killing Phantoon basically gives you a super pack and a missile pack. Killing Draygon basically gives you an E-tank. And one way to think of it is it's all preparing you to fight Ridley. I'm not sure if I made much sense right there. Oops. Oh well. With Varia, damage doesn't really matter. But the reason you don't do Ridley early on is that you'll have very few resources. Like, you could try to make up supers elsewhere, but you'll be pretty slow doing that. And, it's kind of bad. You also wouldn't have an E-tank. So you get Ice Beam so you can get out of Red Tower pretty quickly, because otherwise you'd have to bomb jump up, and that is extremely slow. Or you have to be able to do like the diagonal bomb jump, which that's not important for this. I'm just gonna freeze that guy. Here I'm gonna farm for health a little bit. Mostly because I'm worried. Don't need to farm too much, though. So one thing... Oh, actually, one thing to keep in mind is my reserve is empty right now. Because I never got back to full health after getting it. So there's the power bombs. We have most of the items we're going to pick up now. The only items left are a super pack, a missile pack, and an E-tank. The missile we're going to get on Moat, the E-tank we are going to get later, and the super we'll get after Phantoon. So, I am not going to go over Moat very much. I'm actually going to save state right there. But you can... One thing you can use is you can use Moonwalk to get back... Oops, I did not mean to ice SBA there. You can get Moonwalk to... Use Moonwalk to get into position. So, ideally, you don't do an ice SBA. I can just make up that powerbomb later. Missed the CWJ over to Moat. I think I might save state to just get over there because... Actually, I already got the item. There we go. So, get over Moat. This is not a Moat tutorial, and, well, as this run expects you to do low percent ice standard, or standard low percent ice, I'm guessing y'all would already know how to get across Moat, so... And we're in the ocean. Nice. Oops. Okay. I'm not gonna do the... Well, I guess I did it anyway. So, fight Phantoon. And get the super pack from here. And once you kill Phantoon and get the super, we can just get out of Wreck Ship. There's nothing to be had here other than Phantoon. And really the only reason we're fighting Phantoon is... It's a quick... We have to do... First things first, you have to do it anyway. It's a quick super pack, and you also... It's also blocking a missile pack. So if you don't fight Phantoon now, then you're not getting that missile, unless you do a bomb jump over Moat or something without picking up the missile, which is painful. So, kill Phantoon. Just gonna play this kind of slow and safe. Well, not really, actually. I'm not playing this slow and safe at all, so 4 in the soup. 3-round is pretty standard in low percent. I actually took that kind of... I would not have been able to pull that one off if this were, if I didn't have Varia. Like, if I didn't have Varia, that probably would have been like a 4-round, so... Got my power bombs back, so the Ice SBA made no difference. Which is good. Grab the super pack. And then we leave Wreck Ship. There's nothing else here for us, because the only reason people normally stay in Wreck Ship or go to Wreck Ship first is because of Gravity Suit. But we're not getting Gravity Suit, we're getting X-Ray. So we can just leave. Okay, arm pumping off ledges. Not a good thing. So, I'm going to need to fill up my reserve somewhat. One thing you're going to need to do is you need to get at least 4 in your reserve. The manner you do this does not matter. In fact, I'm going to show you multiple ways of doing this, so first of all, I guess it doesn't really matter in the end. So you cannot see, but my reserve is on auto right now, and I don't really care for that. So going into early X-ray, I'm actually going to turn my reserve on to manual. Actually, I wouldn't normally do this right now, but right now my reserve is on manual. I'm going to make a save state here. So, I'm going to do a little bit of talking about early X-ray, but Honk has a really good tutorial on it, and it's very extensive. I'm going to post a link in chat again. So there's Ponk's early X-ray tutorial. I'm going to show you the way I do it. So first, I just run into the room and jump at the very end. And then... Okay, first of all, I can do this with Ice Beam, but like once I run in and jump at the very end, I release all the buttons and try to get hit by one of the fireflies. So I'm gonna do a save state in the door. Like this. And that will put me like in this middle of the spikes there. If I'm holding an input, it's gonna drop me there. But I jump at the very edge, get hit by the firefly, land in the middle of these spikes. And then, using my iframes, I jump into the next firefly and deboost off of it. Like, after you get hit, you can just start moving, and then land there, and then start deboosting off the waivers. And the waiver deboosts are exactly what they look like. So, yeah. Sorry about not going too in-depth about that, but that's the strategy I use. Basically, you take deboosts off the waivers so that you don't take damage from the spikes. And, well, that section, maybe I could go a bit more in detail, but I don't really feel like I need to, because, like, there's better tutorials out there for early X-ray in particular. And also, one thing I will say about that trick is that the deboosts at the very end are they look exactly as they are. So let me actually try this one more time. So again, that's the only sort of trickery that I do, is getting hit by the firefly right here and landing in that gap, or like next to the gap or whatever. You do want to land on this lower portion right here with the second deboost. Like, if you don't deboost long enough, you'll land right here. If you deboost too much, you'll land down here. So like that. And I'm going to make a save state right there. So then you land here. Actually, let me see if I can... This is a bad save state. And then you just kind of jump and deboost off the waivers. Yeah, this is not a good save state to work with. The only one that matters is like you're in the middle with a yapping mods and then you take a deboost, a back deboost. Really, that's the one that matters. And like you kind of want to be on top of that waiver when you deboost to the left. And if you mess up the last deboost, like you fall down here, you don't need to worry too much. You can just bomb jump up. Though you have to be careful about the waivers. You may want to just power bomb one of those so that you can kill the waivers up top. And I'm actually facing the wrong direction right now, so... There we go. You can back it up, but you do need to be aware of your health. So I'm going to go to here now, and here what I do is I wait for the screen to flash 5 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and on the 5th one I just pause the game. I'm going to run and then jump, and morph, and then deboost to the right, and then this waiver will hit me, and I can just jump over the edge, and we're out. So, one thing I want to talk about is a strat that you can use here, called pause abuse, because you have a reserve tank and it has some health in it. So, what I'm going to do, first of all, it's very important my reserve is on manual right now. So, I'm going to be right here, and let's say I take enough damage that it'll kill me. Actually, give me a moment. So, like, I'm right here. I'm just going to save state that. Of course, if I hit the spike, I'm going to die. My reserve is not going to drain. But if I hit the spike while paused, the game says 16, but I assure you I'm at 0 health right now. So I drain 1 from the reserve, and I'm alive. So, again, the practice ROM does not show it very well, but I am at 0 health right now. And I can just drain 1 from reserve, and I'm back to life. Yeah. It would normally... The only reason it does not show 0 is because it's a practice ROM. But, the practice ROM does not do that, but in the actual game, you'll appear to be at 0 health. And, well, basically... Whoops, I messed that up. It allows you to take hits after death. Okay, here we go. Here's... Which one's the correct save state? Here we go. This is the correct save state. So, I can take a hit like that, get myself to some health, and then just basically survive a lethal hit. And that's because the game doesn't want to kill you while you're in the pause menu. So actually, one thing here, if you, so I'm at 0 health right now. If I were to unpause, it'll kill me. So, okay, but that's somewhat beside the point. So the next trick. So first things first, you can do this one of 2 ways. So you can first of all drain your reserve tanks, but what you need is your reserve tank to be 4 or less. And well, if you are, because we're about to do G mode, if you have not done G mode before, I highly recommend you get it to 4. So basically, I'm going to drain my reserve, and one thing you can do in this situation, so I'm at 5 in my reserve right now, I'm going to pause the game, or unpause the game, and then repause it, and then you can actually manipulate how much you drain from your reserve tank. So I'm going to press A and right at the same time. That did not work as I intended. Whoops. Let me just reload another save. That almost always works. There we go. So I drain 1 from reserve by just tapping right and A at the same time. And now I have exactly 4 in reserve. And then I set it to auto. I'm also going to show some other things, but right now, it is very important that your reserve tank is at 4 for this next section. You do not want to accidentally get health into your reserve tank. Also, I'm going to go over a few quirks with the reserve tank as well. So right now, I'm going to go into this room here, and I'm actually going to make a save state for save state 0, and I'm going to farm some health. So right now I'm filling up my reserve to some random number. It doesn't matter what the number is. But if you decide to try draining your reserve while you are at full health, so I have 98 in reserve, set it to auto, and then press the A button when I have everything. My E tank is completely full. It drains it all in 1 frame. So I just went from 98 to 0 in 1 frame. So you have to be careful of how much health you actually have when you're doing reserve tank drains like that. But this can actually be used to set up your R tank. So I drained my entire reserve tank right there, so there's nothing there. I'm at full health otherwise. So what I do is you can take 2 spike hits and then farm... Oh, whoops, I messed that up. Take 2 spike hits and farm a big 20 from these guys. These guys will almost always drop 20 health. So what I'm going to do... completely drain this reserve tank. Take 2 spike hits. That'll deal 16 damage. And then I get healed for 20 from this big health drop. And now my reserve tank is at 4 exactly. So, and again, I'm going to set it to auto. And we get to deal with the fun G-mode stuff. So, I'm going to say, if you have not been saving often, now is a good time to save in the run. Because this is going to be a trick that, if you mess it up, it will take quite a while to set back up again. But this is a good place to save. And one thing I'm going to say before doing the trick, if you do have Moonwalk on, you can Moonwalk into the door frame. And the furthest you can Moonwalk into the door is... Okay, I can Moonwalk a bit too much there. And you can use this to set up getting in a door frame. So I'm going to say you can go 1 more. So this is as close to a door as you can get. You see 2 pixels of Samus's visor, and it kind of looks like a Tetris S piece. That is what I look for. So here's the thing. If you are right... Okay, well, right now I am as close to a door as I can be, I believe. Actually, no. That's as close as door as it can be. But if you are, like, 1 pixel away from a door, this trick is not pixel perfect. So you can be decently close to the door. So, and it'll work. So if you don't have Moonwalk, you cannot set up like that, but you do have X-Ray, so you need to get into this position where what I do is I kind of look for a little gap between Samus's leg and Samus's, like, lower back, for lack of a better word. And if there's nothing there, then, well, you are as close to the door as it can be. So right now, I am as close to the door as possible, and then I can use my X-ray to turn around and face the other direction, and you can see that it is in fact the same position. But like, you don't need to be right in the door, though it does help. And next thing you need to do is set your health up to be below 20, because these guys deal 40 damage. And what you're going to do is you're going to walk this guy up to the door. So I'm going to damage myself down to be below 20 health. So that 1 hit will kill me. And I'm going to use this guy to do G mode. And for those that don't know what Gmode is, now I'm gonna have to tell you, and that's okay. Gmode is a really fun trick. So actually I'm gonna save state right here. And I'm actually jumping and pressing down to get that guy on screen, because this guy does not move globally. He only moves when he's on screen. So basically, what I'm going to do... I don't know all the ins and outs of Gmode, but... Okay, first of all, I'm going to get this guy to start moving here. And I'm going to get the... Well, like I said, this position is good enough. I can stay right here, and it'll work, even though I'm, like, 1 away from the door. And this is a position if you don't have Moonwalk. Like, if you hit angle up, then Samus's thigh will be in the door. But if you don't, then it won't be. And this 0, you can see that the way I time this is I use X-ray to pause the 0. And you can see that it kind of expands and contracts. And there's 1 frame I look for. So I let the thing get close. And then once it seems close enough, this is basically the right spot. So it expands. And then once it starts contracting again, so it's fully expanded, and once it contracts, then I go in the door. And here I'm going to make a save state. So basically, that's the setup to get hit through the door. And once you get hit through the door, your R-Tank will drain 4. And you'll be at 4 health. So basically, if you can hold X-ray while going through the door transition, and... yeah, but if you do that, you're going to be in state called R mode. So basically what I'm doing is, once I go through the door, I hold the B button to activate X-ray. But the thing is, this is not very helpful because you need something called G mode, which I'm not going to go into too much of the details, mostly because I don't know them, but if you release X-ray in the 4 frames that your R-Tank is draining, you'll get G mode. And you'll know because when you release X-ray, the door will be open. So it looks like this normally. Well, that was too early. And that was too late. So it looks like that when you get it correctly. So basically, you get G mode and the door stays open. So what I did was, while my reserve tank was draining, I released X-ray, and then the knockback got me out, and I can move and everything. And this is a very buggy state, but the way you know is the door stays open. So if you are too early, it looks like that. Or if you release too early, the door closes and the screen is light. If you release too late, then the room is dark, but the door closes. But if you get it just right, well, that was not just right, then the door stays open and you can move around. So one thing to be careful of in this state is of landmines. And for those that don't know what I mean by that, let's say I were to kill this Cack Attack. It shot projectiles, so projectiles will actually stay on screen in G mode. So if I were to run to where the Cack Attack was, I'd basically just hit the projectiles and died. And one way to visualize this is if I go into here and the Cack Attack shoots some stuff, and I just let the Cack do his thing. And then I'm gonna kill him, actually, so you can really see. And then release X-ray. You can see all the projectiles just suddenly start shooting. So, basically, you can completely ignore the Cack Attack. And the way you can exit G mode is by doing an X-ray. So, like, if you're to X-ray, you exit G mode. Like that. But we want to exit G mode in a specific spot. So we just go up here. And the way the G mode works, this gate never actually spawned. So you can use G mode to get past the gate going into Maridia. So you can G mode and then release X-ray, open a door, and enter Maridia from the back. And that is the saving grace for this category. And first things first, farm bugs. Let's get the obvious out of the way first. They one-shot you. So, the thing is so what happens if G mode is, it just saves a lot of time. Because there's one room called the Main Street room And it's killer. Yeah, do whatever you can not to die to these farm bugs. Use missiles, use supers, I don't really care. Actually, supers are more dangerous, but you can do what I just did to misdirect them. Like, jump to the back so you're out of the way. Or just, you can missile them. And then you're gonna be safe. You want to get to full health here, and right now my reserve is on auto. Doesn't really matter. And this room is a tough one. This is Mount Everest. This is one of the hardest rooms in the game, and I think if I mess this up a lot, then I'm going to make a cut in the YouTube video, but I'm going to make a save state right here. And I'm going to show you how to do Mount Everest. And then I'll show you how it's done, and then I will do a better tutorial, like describe more or less what I'm doing. So I think it just helped to show you my actual movement first, though. And then I'll talk about what you just saw. So first I just walk the crab over to the right side. And I do 2 shots on this crab here to get him to very low health. He's 1 shot from being frozen. I let him go up. And I freeze this one on the way up as well. And again, I will go over the intricacies of this right after I show you how it's done. And then I'll just let this guy move upward. In fact, I think I'm kind of don't want to make a save state to try and show off how it looks and it's done correctly, but I might. I'm actually going to make a save state right here-ish, in case I mess this up. It's worth noting none of these crabs are global. That's important to this trick. Okay. I'm gonna load up the save state right here. Normally that would not have happened. Actually, I kind of want to redo that section. I'm gonna try this again one more time afterward. Like after showing off all the individual parts. To try and do it save stateless. Because this section is killer. And this is one of the most dangerous sections in runs because of just how brutal it is. I'm very surprised that worked. Okay, and then one more jump right at the top. So, unfortunately I use a save state here. Oh. I messed that up, but... Oops. I spoke a bit too soon, apparently. But luckily, you can pick back up if you mess up that last section. Like, it's not too bad to recover. Like, we're right back where we were earlier, and I can make this back up. Ah, okay. You know, it's fine. So, right at the end, you would... I don't want to end it off on that. Yeah, oh well. So basically what just happened there, if I go to the very top, yeah. I'm gonna try that section again later, right after this tutorial section, but that was kind of a disaster, not gonna lie. But the first thing I do is I let this crab, I need this crab right here, so you need to land on this platform right at the very top. So unfortunately I did not get that crab climb first try, but you do need to land on this platform. If you're not careful, you can fall down there, so you just need to land here. Hi, Beef Robber. So you need to be close enough to the edge so that crab can move out of the way and let this guy go down. I guess that is true. This is a very dangerous and volatile section of the run. So right now, I guess I'll show you. If I shoot this guy, he'll freeze. So 2 shots, you need to do 2 shots, and then 1 more P shot will freeze it. So I'm gonna hit this guy twice with charge shots, so now he is 1 from being frozen. And I'm going to... Okay. Basically, I need to juggle these crabs. So I'm gonna let this crab go up first, and he's just gonna stay up there. And then I'm gonna freeze this one and use him to climb up. And then if you do... Oh, that's not good. Okay. A crouch jump with a down grab will let you get on the ledge. And this crab is gonna be going right there. And then you need to do 2 charge shots on this crab as well. That's for later. But basically, the way the crabs are set up now, it kind of just happens to be that way. So this crab is off the screen, and you really want him to go as far up the wall as you can. He's as far up as he's going to be. He's out of your way. This crab here is stuck right there. And when you bring this guy around, something you need to be careful of is bringing him to the edge of the screen. One thing that I see so many people do when trying this crab climb is they're not careful and they stack the crabs. So basically that is 2 crabs stacked right on top of each other. And if this happens, there's nothing you can do to separate them. You need to be super careful about stacking crabs. So, where's my save state? Here we go. Wait a minute, no, this is the wrong one. This is the save state I want. So what I do is I bring this crab back around, and when he's about to go off screen, so like once he goes down, or changes to be perpendicular, I jump down. And that way, this crab is already really low, and the other one is, well, they're basically very separate. And what I do here is, I freeze them to be in this position, so one's perpendicular, they're basically perpendicular to each other, and then I go off screen. This way, the freeze timers are all messed up right now, but this syncs the freeze timer, so basically once I go to the right, both crabs are unfrozen right now, and I just made a save state. When I go to the right, they will start moving at the same time, and they will be the perfect distance from each other. I just saved the save state on accident, instead of loading it. So basically what I'm going to do is I guess I can show that off again. So right as this crab turns perpendicular, I jump down. And then, oops, that normally doesn't happen. But if that happens, you have to reset. You really don't want your crabs separate, or to separate from, or deviate from the norm. So again, turn perpendicular, jump down. Crabs are separate, and I just make a crab elevator. And then I'm gonna freeze him right at the very top. And the next one I freeze as like right there-ish. And then wait for one of the crabs to start unfreezing, and then wait for them both to unfreeze, and then I make a safe state here. And then once they go back over, they're in a perfect position. And then this section, you really cannot deviate. There is very little room for leeway here. Like, you have the margin, you have little room for error. That's the best way to put it. But I'm going to use this little platform to my advantage. I'm messing it up. So right now I'm messed my setup up a little bit. And then basically, once I'm in this position, I'd use X-ray to turn around, normalize my position. And I freeze him right here. So like right as, this is a very important position right here. Save state that to be number 1. So like, basically this allows you to jump into the crab and land on top of him. And the next thing I'm going to do is fire a super and shoot the crab. So I made a save state right here. So first things first, oops. You need to be careful about killing the crab with a super, because, well, I need to select my supers, and, well, deselect supers and get to my Ice Beam. But luckily there is a mechanic in this game called the icon cancel or whatever. Well, slightly different. Basically, normally if you select your supers, you shoot one and it doesn't release. But one mechanic that's a bit more obscure that it's in the game, if you hold your item cancel button and then press item select and select over the supers, your supers will be flashing like that. And basically what that means is you shoot a super and the next, it'll only shoot one and your next beam is going to be Ice Beam. So I can shoot super and then switch to ice instantly. And it makes this section a lot better. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to load the save state and then like supers and then quickly shoot my Ice Beam to hit the falling crab. Well, oops. And then basically you need to land on top of the crab. And this is a very dangerous part. So one thing about the game, oh, first of all, actually that's a bit low. Oh, this will actually work. But oops. Okay, I think here, if I were to, I'm gonna make a save state. You can use the crab you can actually use, the game really wants to put you on top of enemies. So if you're riding up against the enemy, it's going to try to push you on top of it. So you can see that I had a higher jump when I just tried to jump on the enemy. And then what I do is, as this crab is unfreezing, I just freeze that one right there and get on top. That is the thing you should normally expect to do. You can sometimes get up there, like, I think if I were to really try... Well, first of all, you need the crab. Like, I could really get up there. Oh, actually, no, I couldn't. See, it's not worth going for that ever. It is always worth just, you know, using this crab here to get back up, since you really need it anyway. So again, I'm going to make a save state right here. And basically, this crab is right at the edge of the screen. So what you do is you jump over the crab and let it get close to the edge. But if you let it get off the edge, the crabs are stacked. And you're screwed. There's nothing you can do to fix this. You have to reset. But if you let them get close to each other, so basically let this crab get close to the edge of the screen, and then just start moving to the right. Because one thing about the game... Actually, let me freeze this crab first, so you can see better. Actually, you know what? Basically, okay. Basically, what I can do is, if a crab is at the edge of the screen, I move, and it's going to go a bit more. And I can keep doing this, basically, for quite a while. But the thing's already stacked. But if this thing goes close to the edge of the screen, like that, you can get it to here. And this is a good position. It doesn't really matter how close the crabs are or how far apart they are, as long as they are not stacked. You'd want to get them decently close, though. So you basically want to freeze the crabs at like the little humps. So like one right there, and then one right there. Actually, wait a minute. No, I did that wrong. Crap. Give me a moment. The hump after that one. So, one right there, and one right there. And you can jump on this crab, and you just have to jump and freeze it. It doesn't matter how far it moves, because it's enough. I promise you it's enough. If it just moves. Turn around. You may even want to X-ray turn around there, because underwater movement is slow, so like if you're like right here, turn around, you'll fall off the crab. You just kind of have to judge yourself. And you're ready to shoot the crab off the wall again. So do the icon cancel thing, and once it's horizontal, you just shoot it off the wall. And then one thing I've been doing this whole time but haven't really talked about is jumping and looking down. So if you jump and look down, you extend your camera downward. So I'm going to use that, freeze this guy to get up to here, and then I'm back in the same position I was earlier, where I messed up. And then you let the crab kind of go above the edge a little bit. I'm going to save state right here. The way this works is you need to try and get up, but I'm going to show you how not to do it first. You want to hold angle when you jump, because you notice underwater movement is very floaty. But if you hold angle when you jump, when you angle, you lose all your momentum instantly. So what you do is you need to jump out of the way, and then you, okay, I don't know how to describe that right there. But the movements you do are you hold angle, and then you jump off to the side, and then release the movement option once you've cleared the wall. And then once you clear the wall, then you just are holding angle, and then you're going to turn around and then down grab onto the platform, which down grabbing shrinks your hitbox so that you can actually scale the ledge. So it looks kind of like that when you do it right. And yeah. So you start with a spin jump. If you see what's going on, you're starting by spin jumping, and then it turns into you break the spin very quickly, and then down grab up. So I'm going to try this one more time, just to show you more or less what happens here. So again, first things first. Hit the thing twice with Ice Beam and Charge Shot so that it's one shot from being frozen. And then I need to get I'm just getting my Ice Beam ready here. And I'm carrying this crab to the edge of the screen. And hitting this guy with 2 shots. And then I'm going to freeze him right here. Crouch, jump up, down grab on, and then crouch and jump into a down grab. That gives you the most height. Freeze this guy and have him go up the wall as far as he can, so he is out of the way. And then this guy, it doesn't really matter where he is, but he's at the bottom of the screen. And then this guy, carry this guy over, and then once he turns perpendicular, you jump down. And then you start jumping and freezing. And then get ready to jump and freeze this guy right over here. And then when he is horizontal, then go away, wait for them to unfreeze, and then go back over. I'm going to save state this again in case this goes wrong, but I really hope it doesn't. Freeze this guy here. And then once this guy is somewhat up the wall, you freeze him again. And then I get into this position. This part's not too precise, but I land on this platform. And that really helps out, because that allows this bottom crab to move quite a bit. And then I'm in this position. So that was mildly backup right there. My original strat didn't work, but I caught myself really quickly. And I realized that a spin jump would compress my hitbox enough that I could get past the wall. So this guy, once he's close to the edge of the screen, I move, and then I freeze this guy here, and then freeze him there. The location of the second freeze isn't very important. And then I use this guy to get up here. And then once he is close enough, I freeze him. And then get up. So that is how Mount Everest should look. That is basically a textbook Mount Everest right there. And then you can just continue on. I'm going to make a save state here. Now, if you are doing a no reset run, you are going... This is definitely the most reset heavy part of the run. I'm going to show you a speed strat right here, though I don't expect anyone to use this their first time around. So what I do is I listen to the music, so I'm just gonna lay here when I lay the power bomb. Like there-ish, I believe. I haven't done that strat in a while. I was a bit off on my timing, but how's this go again? Yeah. I think what I do is I jump. I think that might be it? I don't know. I don't remember the timing, so... But there is a... I do have a timing for that. I don't remember what it is, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. For the sake of this tutorial, you would not be doing that. I was facing the wrong direction, apparently. So you would go down here, save, and you would just use the save here, and that would set up the snail to be in the correct spot. And here, from here, you can make a choice. You can either A, go to bot wound as is, or B, go farm. And depending on how your super missile count looks, you may want to go farm. So what you do is, facing right, if you don't face left at all, then this snail will be right here, and you can use this guy to climb up. And then what I do is I face the wall, and then he's going to start moving, and then I just turn around and jump. It's very easy. Yeah, what you're saying is completely correct. You can save time by letting the snail crawl past the PB blocks, then laying your PB. But first of all, if you do that, you will not be able to save. And second of all, if you do that, well, you have to know the timing, and I can't remember the timing. So you can farm right here. One thing I will say, though, first of all, I will make a save state. F9. If you go in the sand, getting out is very hard. It's not impossible, but it's very hard. And I can't remember if I've done this before. Oh, well, never mind. I got out. Huh. I think what I did was I did a crouch jump next. Huh. Guess you need to crouch and keep down held then jump. I guess it's not that hard to get out there. But it's still... Don't get stuck in the sand. It's painful. And just... You can farm. And I will say that one of the safer ways to farm is just carrying one of the Zoas over to this side and then just shooting it as it comes out the sand, picking up the drops like that, then going back over. So you're never actually going over the sand. You're just letting it come out. It's slightly slower, but it's safer. Like that. Bot wound doesn't really matter as long as... Basically, once you get bot wound to half health, you can just spam charge shots. So it's very simple. So you just need to get bot wound to half health, and then it's basically free. Anyway, you'll likely save with these newfound resources, but once you're ready, you can carry this snail, who is... Actually, let me just show you a bit better what's actually going on here. So, like, once you come out of the save room, there's a snail, like, right in the middle. Like, right there. This is a snail you climb up. And he moves globally, first of all. So, he's gonna come right back around and come up off the top. And then you can just ride him up. So, first things first, you get him into a good position, like that. And then face the wall, like you're touching the wall, and then you turn around. Well, I tried showing you, and then it didn't really work. I'm gonna refill right there. And actually, I'm going to make a save state and reset the room. This will be save state 8 now about. So basically, you need to get him turn around like right as he gets to the corner. So if you turn around frame perfectly, he's not going to stop moving, which is very unfortunate. But like from here, what you do is you basically touch the wall, and then he's going to start moving, turn around, and then turn right back around again once he's getting up to the top. And you can see the inputs. Basically what I'm doing is exactly the same. And I don't think I actually described it very well. If you crouch and jump, crouch jumps make you jump higher than normal jumps. So what I do is, I guess I can show that off. So like, if I try to normal jump here, I cannot hit the door. But if I crouch jump, I can hit the door. So, in here, you have to deal with the mock droids. Make a save state. They take 4 shots to freeze, and they'll deal damage to you pretty quickly. So really, you just need to climb one of the mock droids, and I'm not going to deal with it. Actually, no. I do want to deal with them because there's this jump right here. This jump kind of sucks. You can jump from like right here to the other side, but no one wants to do that. It's a pretty tight jump. But I'm gonna try like one more time to get it. But it is not required for this category. Yeah, I'm not gonna go for it. You never do it. What you can do is you can either take the mock droid from earlier, or you can shoot. Okay, first of all, you need to do a crouch. Okay, you can do a crouch jump into a down grab here to get up there. So down grabs let you grab the platform, and the crouch lets you jump higher. So you can get just barely enough height to get up here. So crouch into a down grab, and then hit the left button. And you can shoot that wall out and free that mock droid, and you're going to carry this guy over. And just like in normal low percent ice, or like standard low percent ice or whatever, you can carry this guy over to below these crumble blocks, shoot him, and then get up here. It's a very easy clip. It's the same one as in standard low ice. And then bot wound. You can just sit in this corner, this bottom left corner, and, well, shoot him. Once he gets below half health, he'll stop spitting. Or he can't stop spitting once he gets below half health. So, like, once he starts moving quickly, he's not able to spit anymore. So this bot is completely safe. He cannot damage you, and you can damage him. So if you don't have ammo here, you can just wail on him with charge shots. Of course, I'm just gonna use some of my ammo here. Just to make things faster. But yeah, you can know how to do charge shots. So next area, bot wound tank. So this is why you did not get Crate Tank earlier. because if you got Crate Tank, you would have to do a G mode to skip this E Tank here, which, if we want to talk about that, we can, but I'm expecting this tutorial is going to be a long one, so I'm not going to waste y'all's time talking about a backup to a strat that you should not have to back up. But basically what I'm going to do, kill the first 3 of these Puyos. 4 shots kill, or freezes. Then what I do is, I do 3 shots on this last one. And then I drag him over to the sand and kind of jump over and get him to jump in. Then I aim, go up, and then as he jumps up, I shoot and freeze him. So from here, what you need to do is you need to jump and hit the wall, and then morph in. And then you can grab the C tank. Now, if you try to morph early, like let's say you normally do a jump morph, it's not going to work. You have to jump, hit the wall, or out of a crouch jump, hit the wall, and then morph. It's like you morph after hitting the wall. If you try morphing before you hit the wall, you won't have enough momentum. You'll just sink into sand. Just looking at what you're saying. Okay. And here, you just go to the... Because, yeah, what ED's saying, Morph Ball momentum in water suitless is really slow. And then you need to prepare yourself for Draygon here. So you have every item you are going to collect for the rest of the game. So the way I'm going to farm here is I'm going to just stand here and shoot these guys outside of the sand. And you can also use missiles for this as well. In fact, it's safer to use missiles because these guys will just stop spawning when there's missiles on the ground. Like, nothing can spawn right now. Okay, that's... Okay, actually, I can still use missiles here. There we go. We're at full ammo, full health. So we're at full everything right now. My reserve tank is completely full. And we are about to fight Draygon. But first, we have to get there. So what you need to do is you need to climb the mock choids. So you just do a little mock choid elevator here. And then once one's about to unfreeze, you just jump, and then you can climb up. Well, unless that happens. So the last bit is the most dangerous part, because you can fall pretty easily. But actually, one thing I do need to say is my timing for jumping on a mock choid. So the way I do time to unfreeze is I count to 8. So I count to 8. So on the 8th when I do it, so it's kind of not scientific. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, well, never mind. I kind of jump early, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then like he just kind of starts moving once I say 8. It's very unscientific and it works for me, kinda. I don't use that strat here, so I'm not used to it, but I can show you again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can do a single mock choid elevator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then like just kind of climb up here. But anyway, I'm gonna reset the room real fast. Here we go. Of course, the last save state. That was not ideal. So crouching makes it go a little bit faster. So once you're out of the water, you can... Oh, I'm just gonna play it safe here. And we have Colosseum. One of the most dangerous rooms in the game, if not the most dangerous room. So basically, you have sand on the floor, and if you hit the sand, you're dead. Or well, if you get stuck in the sand. So basically, my strat for this is I'm going to show you multiple strats to do this. I kill the first and second guys, and then the third guy, I kind of carry over. Or actually, you don't have to kill the first. Oh, well, that actually shows you. What I normally do here is I don't actually kill the second guy. I kill the first guy, but I freeze the second guy, like, here. So I freeze that guy there in case I kill this guy here. So, like, if I kill this guy, then I can just go back, grab that other one. And then I get close to the wall. And then, like, I actually am close enough to the wall that I can... Let me save F2. I can actually hold right and I'm not going to fall. So basically, I jump as this guy's about to unfreeze. And I just focus solely on freezing this guy as he comes down. One thing to keep in mind is his momentum. Actually, let me save this as F3. Notice, so the first unfreeze, he moves very slowly. The second unfreeze, he moves very fast. Like that. So you have to be ready for that. And also, this mock droid, you want to bring him to the bottom of the screen before continuing. So, basically, the mock droid is on the bottom. So, actually, let me show you. See how the mock droid on the right... Actually, let me... I stay on 8. I'm going to bring this mock droid down, and notice how he kind of goes down and up on the screen. He cycles up and down. You want him to not be on screen. So, like... You don't have to cycle it then, but let's see here. What's the... Basically, this guy... Basically, once he's down, you jump up. So he is not at the top of the screen anymore. Yeah, so... The guy goes really fast because you freeze him into accelerated motion. And, yeah, what Edie's saying, you can see. And... Basically, there's two strats you can use here. I'm going to show both. So, the reason he's down is oh, well, this guy normally doesn't do that. He normally does not come back around to help. But if you mess up this strat here, this strat is my favorite strat to use here. Basically, I get to the edge, like I'm lined up with this platform here. I lay a bomb, and then hit the spike. Like, you can bomb into the spike, which the spike starts at the very first beginning of this watery crap in the background. Like, you can see, like, a little waterfall in the background. And that is where the spike is. So, I can actually show my mouse on screen real fast. Okay, you should be able to see my mouse. I don't know why my mouse is in a weird spot, but if you look here, the spike is right below where my mouse is moving up and down, like the very beginning of this waterfall thing. So that is where the spike is, and you want to land on that spike. And once you land on the spike, you will be in Morph. And then when you Morph, well, it will bounce you upward. You can just kind of jump over to the other side. One thing I would note, when you get bombed, you will be... Like, basically, you start holding right after the bomb explodes. And then you can just jump over. And then it's pretty simple once you've got the hang of it. So, like, basically what I'm doing, again, bomb, tap right, And then once the bomb explodes, I start holding right. The timing is very lenient, and you'll hit the spike basically every time. And yeah. Let's say you are doing this, and then, oh no, you mess up. Well, remember how you got that guy cycling downward? So you just go to the right. You need to jump in the sand, like, very carefully. And then just carry him over to the right. And if you do it this way, you can do the same thing. Trap a Machtroid in the bottom of the screen to help you out in case you fall. So wait for him to be low. And then there's one Machtroid down there. Kill this one up here. Now, if you fall down there, I have a safety net if I fall down here now. If you were to do the spike strat like I showed, you would not have the safety net because you would kill both Machtroids up top. But basically, I do the same thing again. I morph and then do a bomb, and then unmorph. Okay, actually, I need to figure out how to do this first, and then... So that's the strat I do. So I bomb into the platform, and then I morph. And then if you get hit by the spike and morph, you'll get bounced upward. If you jump, one thing I will point out is if you jump into this spike and are basically unmorphed and actually holding the right direction, it'll push you backwards. And if you are standing and holding right and it pushes you backwards, there's a very good chance that it's going to knock you off. So you just have to understand how the spike physics work, because like here, that just pushed me off. So what I'm going to do is, again, I do this very same strat. So again, kind of like a horizontal bomb jump, you just lay a bomb, tap right, and then hold right after, and then do a run and jump, and then morph onto the second set of spikes. And then I'm basically doing exactly what you see. But let's say you screw up and you fall down here after this guy's already down. So what you do, there's no platform down here to pick you up if you mess up again. So you need to kind of let this guy grab onto you a little bit so that his movement is near vertical. And then you need to just kind of climb him up. This is a dangerous elevator, because you only have the one guy, there's no platforms down there, but you can still get to the other side. And then here, since this is your first run, well, first of all, I'm going to go into here really fast. You're going to want to save. You're absolutely going to want to save. If this is your first run. So you go up here, make a save, and also use this opportunity to refill your energy tank. You ideally should not have lost anything in your reserve, but if you did, that's okay. You can either farm Draygon or farm the Machtroids, and then make a save right here. I'm not using the saves because I have the save states, but I'm just showing you. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about farming these guys for the sake of the tutorial, because that's what you normally see. And to start off, I have a tutorial for for Draygon. I'm going to post that. So that is my Draygon tutorial. I go into a lot of depth with Draygon. I'm not going to go into as much depth with this tutorial, but because I already have done that in the past. Yo, Natter, what's up? So I need to get my mouse off the screen. Turn off capture cursor because that doesn't need to be on anymore. and turn on Notepad. So, I'm going to give a little basic rundown of the fight, though I'm not going to do in nearly as much detail as that tutorial. Wow, ED. But basically, I show you my missile, and so this is exactly what I see when I do this fight. So basically, I count my supers and I count my missiles, and I need to get to the equivalent of 59 missiles, or 19 supers and 2 missiles. So basically, what it will look like when I'm done shooting all my missiles. I guess 3 missiles are equal to 1 super, so I'm going to just use that to figure out. I also, at the very beginning of the fight, shoot 1 charge shot in the Draygon. So I use some sort of, it's not exactly Roman numerals because like you don't use like IV or whatever, but I use these more as tally marks. That's what I look for when I'm done with the fight. So I'm going to make a save state here. And I will not be using the health counter in the top left corner, but you can use that if you're looking at this tutorial just to see how I stack up. So, Draygon, here we go. So the first thing you want to do is destroy the turrets. And again, I have an audio cue for when I need to start shooting my missiles. I'm not gonna go over all of that in this tutorial here because I literally already did that and I feel like I did a pretty good job with that tutorial. But I start with a missile or charge shot, and that's my only charge shot in the whole fight, and then unload all my missiles. So I heard my charge shot hit the wall, so I know it didn't connect. So I just lay it right there. I'm not going to talk too much in this tutorial, I'm just going to let you see what's going on like in a well-done Draygon fight. Draygon is very close to death. Okay, so at this point, you can see my ammo count as now what I showed at the beginning, so 2 missiles and 19 supers. And I also did it, so that was the equivalent of 5,900 damage Draygon, and I did a charge shot at the very beginning of the fight, and that put Draygon down at 10 health. So now Draygon is 1 hit from death by anything. So now we need to get a left side goo, which I'm going to make a save state. And I'm also at full health, that's important. So I get a left side goo, and then I do 59 inputs. I got so screwed by health right there. This might actually kill. That's very rare. But like once you get to the very top, you just drop off, and then you're at the top of the screen. And then go for the snipe on Dray. Ah, didn't connect. I shot a bit. My timing was a bit off. But yeah, again, I have a tutorial where I go over that whole process a bit more. But basically what I do, actually, I guess I can show you. I can show you one more time, actually. Basically, let's see here. I was a bit off of my timing again. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep shooting random shots. Hope I get a lucky hit. She's doing the wrong direction. She is doing the left side goo. That's no good. Yeah, so you want a right side goo here. Here we go. I was a bit early on my shot there. I'm actually in a safe state there, just so it goes by faster. Yeah, whatever. So, I'm loading up the save state. Huh. Weird. Okay. I cannot get the snipe right now. What's going on? There we go. So that is basically how you do the Draygon fight. Again, the snipe can be really fast or take a long time. So I'm going to make a save state right here. And actually do one more thing. I'm going to refill and just kind of jump down. Kind of to show you how I do the actual, you know, the climb part. Basically what I do, well, Draygon's going the wrong direction, but... So, imagine going the other direction. I'd start at the top one, and I'd go around the controller 15 times. So, 3E, and 4E, and 5E, and 6E, and 7E, and 8E, and 9E, and 10E, and 11E, and 12E, and 13, 14. And then on 15, go E, and the next input will drop me. So then, I just release it when I need to. But anyway, that's how I do my counting. I go around the controller 14 times, and on the 15th, I do 3 inputs. What matters the most is the 15th input is not, or the 59th input is not a right input, or else you will be screwed. So, X-ray climb. So, in the run, okay, I never turn off Morph Ball, but for the sake of this tutorial, I will. Basically, when you have X-ray equipped and do a turnaround, yeah, it is safer, but basically I'm mashing down, I cannot morph. Basically, if you release X-ray while turning around, the game will force you to stand up. And you can use that to do what's called an X-ray climb. So you need to get in the door, and you're really not that far in the door when you do this. So what you do is you set yourself up close to the door. Whoops. You can either set this up with Moonwalk in the same way I showed you earlier with G mode. You can either set yourself up like this, get like there-ish, or you can, if you don't have Moonwalk on, you can do this sort of thing. Then X-ray turnaround, and then you do a stationary spin by tapping left and then pressing the jump button. Actually, I'm going to make a save state right here. So tap left and then press jump, and you'll do a stationary spin jump. And then once you do a stationary spin, you tap the left button like at a certain point in a door, so like there. And then you'll ideally get stuck in the door like that. So this is a good place to have a save state. So again, you do a stationary spin, and then jump, and then tap left in the door frame, and then ideally you'll get stuck in the door. Sometimes it's finicky, sometimes you have to go through the door multiple times and just go in and out the door, but eventually you'll get stuck in the door. I just got lucky by getting it first try earlier. None of these are working anymore. I should have just stuck with the first one. Alright, there we go. And once you're in the door, well, basically anything will get you out of the door. So the reason we turned off Morph Ball earlier, if I were to turn it back on, and I morph, no matter what I press, I cannot get out well, except I cannot unmorph, and like basically if you are X-ray climbing and you morph, you have to leave the wall and try again. Okay, there's my save state. One thing, if you are standing and you press the jump button, you get forced into this weird crouch where you are stuck. So don't ever do a jump when X-ray climbing. The only time you can jump out X-ray climbing is if you are absolutely certain you are crouched. So keep your hand away from the jump button. So one thing I will say is, if you don't know how to X-ray climb, then well, this is a place for you. This is a very good place to learn how to X-ray climb. If you know how to X-ray climb, you can skip this part of the tutorial. But basically, if you are not careful, you can just throw yourself out the door like that. Like, it is very easy to get yourself out of the door. Like, you are barely clipped in. So you want to do something, start off with something called a single-way X-ray climb. So you'll find that if you are not X-raying, you're only ever holding left. So basically you first start by doing an, oh wow, that worked. So you do an X-ray turnaround, look to the right. So when you do an X-ray turnaround, it does not actually shift your horizontal or vertical, it does not mess with your horizontal position. If you turn around without X-raying, then Samus will move. If you turn around while X-raying though, Samus will not move, and well, I can just face left. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I press left, I'm never gonna leave this wall. But like, if I press right, then well, if I press right while standing up, at least, I clip out of the wall. So what you do is you start by looking right with X-ray, and then you X-ray to the left and release X-ray. And then you can press down to morph, and you can see that brought you up. Oops, I did. So you can see this is how a single-way X-ray climb would work. So you're only ever holding left at any moment. You are never holding right when you're not X-raying. And then it'll get to a point when you're completely in the wall. It doesn't matter if I'm pressing left or right. Like, I can hold right here, and I will not leave the wall. And at this point, you can X-ray both ways. So I'm facing left, I face to right, and then release X-ray. Face right. And then X-ray to the left, X-ray to the right, X-ray to the left, and you can do this little dance where you do an X-ray climb. So right now I'm completely in the wall, and you can do this all the way up. It doesn't matter what you see on screen. You just do this all the way to the top. And because I have already unequipped Morph, I don't have to worry about soft locking. It's like I can press down as many times as I need to, I will not soft lock. If, for example, I had Morph on, and then press down again, I cannot unmorph. I am completely stuck. There's no way out of this wall. This is a soft lock. Like, nothing I do gets me out of here. So, be careful. But if you turn off Morph, you cannot soft lock by doing that. So you just have to X-ray climb to the top, and at the very top there is water. And that will make your X-ray climb slower. But whatever you do, do not press the jump button, and you'll be okay. So once you get to here, you can actually angle up and shoot the door, and if you tap right, it'll force you to stand. So you can just do tap down, tap right, or sorry, tap down, tap left, and after a while, it'll force you out of the wall. And the way the graphics are, you cannot tell, but I'm actually at the top of the screen now. And so if I were to jump to fix the camera, so you can see I'm up here now. out of the water. And then, well, just escape. It is worth noting you don't actually have to fix the camera, so... Oops. The camera is not fixed right now, and I'm just going to go through the door. And this is not going to take me to Draygon's room. This is going to take me to Colosseum. And then, of course, you are going to want to save. Because you just killed Draygon. You just did something really hard. You deserve a save. I'm going to also heal up as well. So we're almost out of the woods of Maridia. You just have to do a few more things to get out of here. You need to do a reverse Colosseum, and reverse Colosseum is actually a very dangerous part of the run, but luckily you just had a save. I just died right there, so I didn't actually make a save state. So I'm going to teleport over to... I'm back here. I Ridley fight with just Varia. We'll get to that when we get to that. But that is not... It's very not easy. So grab this, and this time I'll make a save state on exiting the door. But the way I set this up is I make a save at full health, and well, I go to the very corner here, and then I jump at the last moment, kind of like with early X-ray, and then just hit wall jump off this wall. Here. I just bomb to the... Oh, well, first of all, I need to have Morph on. I don't usually unequip Morph, so I'm not used to having it off. But you Morph here, and then... you do the same thing in reverse. And then, same thing in reverse, except at the end of this waterfall thing, you'll hit the spike. And then you can just wall jump across. You can kill the first guy, do not kill the second one though. Or you can just leave him behind. But you're gonna need that mock droid there. So I'm going to try and keep it on screen. And use this guy to climb out. And then you're out of Colosseum. And that is a dangerous room. So you aren't going to go through Cack Alley. That's very dangerous and hard. And honestly, it's just hard. I don't know if you even can. You're going to want to farm these guys, so you will need at least one super to leave Maridia. That was a lot of supers. But I'm also going to farm some health here. Wow. Because I lost a lot of health in that Draygon fight. So, basically, you can use these guys to farm up to full if you want. I'm not going... Actually, I'm going to farm until I get stuff in my reserve. But I won't farm to full. And then you can use one of these guys. Freeze one of these guys, and then just use him to climb up. Like that. For this section, I'm going to actually make a quick save state here. There's a little secret tunnel that not everyone knows about, so I'm just going to show you how that works. So you go into the sand, like, under this block, and you need to be rolling in Morph. And then once you hit the second wall, like this, you just hold left, and then you get shot to the left side. Very simple, and very free. And I'm gonna farm here a bit. And there's only one more hard thing left in Maridia, believe it or not. So, first things first, I'm going to... I think I messed that up. I'm gonna have to go into the save room because the snail was in a bad spot right now. Yeah, the snail was in a bad spot, so I have to go in the save room to reset it. And I'm gonna use the snail to let me go into that other area. So powerbomb these blocks, and the snail will just start to come up here. And then we can do the same snail climb we did earlier to just get to the very top of the room. Like this. Or well, that didn't work very well. Here we go. And then you can just do one of those. So for this room, one of these crabs is global. That crab I'm shooting at right there, this is a global crab. And what that means is he'll move off screen. All these other crabs, they will not move off screen. So basically, you need this crab to be at the minimum amount of health. So I shot him 6 times with my P shots, which means one more shot will freeze him. I'm going to get my supers ready, because we're going to do one more freeze. So we just shoot him out of the air, or off the wall, and then freeze him in the air. Kind of like this. And then just use him to get up. Now, I'm actually going to make a save state here. You can save a cycle by doing some wall jumps here. Like this does save time, but it's a marginal amount of time. You can do that. Or wait, alternatively, you can just wait here and wait for the crab to come around. And then once he's around, you just jump up here. It is slower to do that, but it's easier. Like, way easier. And then you can just climb out using the crab. And that is the hardest part of the run. Well, one of the hardest parts. And you just climb down Mount Everest. As long as you're careful not to fall into this hole, you're okay. Which, it's very hard to fall in there. You want to fall into this door on the right side, because if you fall in on the left side, you'll hit the fish. And then you just go out of Maridia through the normal entrance. Got hit by the crab there. And this room actually has no water in it until you blow up the tube. So you might think to yourself, I need to blow up the tube. But if you actually go into this corner, roll into the corner, and then just tap up, you'll clip into it, and then hit the right button. Maybe even the left button works. Yeah. If you hit right or left, you'll just clip into the tube. You don't actually ever have to blow up the tube in this run, which is really neat. And then you just head into Norfair. So you have all the items you could ever want, so you're just going to go to the other side. Now, I did some farming earlier, so I don't have to do that now, but now it kind of feels like standard low ice. But what I'm going to do... we're going to do a slightly different strat. We are going to G-mode into lower Norfair. So first thing you would normally do is you would go into the save room and then make a save. Or well, I'm actually using the save room as a little runway to get over to this side, which I messed that up. I'm just gonna use Ice Beam instead. And I'm gonna go into here. I'm not actually going to be getting Speed Booster, I'm just going in here for the farm. That was bad. But then you just can just farm here pretty free, get the full. So you'd use this to get the like full supers as well. Make your life easier. And then you want to take damage in the lava and also turn off Varia. And I'm going to make a save state here. And you want to get 4 in your reserve again. So again, I'm in a situation where I have 5 in reserve, so I unpause, unpause, then press the 2 buttons at the same time. Now I have 4 in the reserve. And you want to get to less than 25 health. And then you would normally make a save here, but I'm using save state, so I don't need to. We're going to do another G mode in this room here. So you get a G mode off of the viola, so first same as first. Basically, you get hit by the viola as you enter this door. Not do what I just did there. But the viola does multi-viola. It deals 25 damage per hit, and yeah, you get G mode right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and this is basically there's 2 ways I'm going to show this off. You want to kill these guys first, and well, keep in mind what I was saying earlier. You want to kill those guys quickly because, well, if I hit this, I'm dead. There is a landmine right there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to wall jump in this corner for like 3 to 5 times, and then roll through. So now that I'm on the other side, I use X-ray again, and you can see the camera does not scroll when I press left or right. This is a good thing. That means you can just go right through the door and get to the back of Lower Norfair. So in the event that, let's say, let me pull up this save state. Let's say you don't wall jump enough, and you just, or let's say you go, and yeah, you just roll in the tunnel. Actually, yeah, no. Let's say you don't wall jump enough in this corner, and you get stuck here. Like, I'm just rubbing up against a single wall, and, well, you can wall jump in a corner, or, like, roll in and out of the inside of this tube. Doesn't really matter what you do. But basically, what matters is, I get to the end of the tube, and you'll notice that when I use X-ray, the camera is going to scroll. If your camera scrolls like this, like when you move, you absolutely, well, first of all, I'm going to show you what happens if you don't let the camera scroll back around. The graphics are going to be, wait a minute. Did I really just get the perfect position? Also, I think I saved the wrong, okay, never mind, I didn't. So, if your camera is screwed up like this, you're gonna get glitchy graphics, like basically every time. And the glitchy graphics are going to stay with you until you save and reset, but that's not gonna take very long because this section is incredibly dangerous. So basically, if you are in this position, you can move left and right, let the screen scroll back to Samus, and you get to here. So what's going on here, I'm going to give a very brief description of what's going on. There are 2 scroll PLMs, one on the outside of this tube, and one on the inside. You overload the one on the outside by doing wall jumps into it, and then that basically makes the one on the inside completely useless, and the screen will not scroll. So you overload PLMs to despawn crumble blocks. So basically, if you don't do those wall jumps, you're gonna ram into a wall. So those wall jumps after doing G mode are very important. You can see my camera does not scroll, so I can go into this next room pretty safely. And we enter the key hunter room. Actually, yeah, okay, here we go. So key hunters. My strat for this, I first shoot at the first 2 blocks and then wait for that guy to be on the right side, and then I let this guy kind of move around, and once he's facing away, I go down in there. Like, I want him to be as far right as he can be, without him turning, well, with him facing left. And then go under him, move to the left, and then go through like that. I'm going to do that a few more times so you can see what I do without commentating. Okay, that time he was facing left when I went in, so he just did a big swoop. That is important. If he's... Something I notice is if he's facing the left, when you go down, he's going to do a big swoop. So you absolutely want him facing the right side, or else he'll do a big swoop. I did not mean to unmorph there. But you can see what I'm doing here. And you can see it's pretty consistent. And you just have to dodge a key hunters like that. And it's pretty simple going down in there. But right now your health is so bad that anything will kill you. So this will be the last time I do this. Alright, so what you do is you wait out the acid. And actually, I'm going to make a save state here. You want to jump on... You can do wall jumps on the left side of these flame walls. Like, you cannot get hit by the flames when you are wall jumping the left side. If you are on the right side, however, you can get hit and you will die. I mixed up my left and my rights. You want to stay on the right side of the wall, not the left. You can rub up against the right side of the wall all you want, but if you touch the left side, you can die. Sorry, I mix up my lefts and rights very often. So, you're going to be at low health for a while, all the way up until Metal Pirates. So, what you can do is you freeze the Funes and pseudo-screw the boulders. And it's very simple. If you are concerned about health, you can go to here. If you're not, you can just continue on. But you cannot grab the E-tank, or else you will get 4 tanks. I'm just gonna grab some health here for kicks, and then leave. And if you aren't rubbing up against the Fune, you're able to bomb up. Or if you start holding left after you get hit by the bomb. So here I'm going to make a save state in 3 Musketeer, or Red Key Hunter Shaft. Red Key Hunter Shaft going down, it's not much to write home about. It's very simple, very easy. Going up is a different story, but we'll burn that bridge when we get there. And then you're going to want to make a save here. If you're... Well, yeah. Saving's good. And then you're going to end up in this next section with a side hopper, or the Disgigas. So if you know how to take care of the Disgigas, you can do that here. There's a strat you can use here that... Actually, let me just save state. This Disgigas will one-shot you, so... You can do that. So what I do is I wait, and then do a Morph Ball. And then we can go in. The Metal Pirates will kill you. I don't know how much damage they deal, but they deal a lot. You normally would not need to get the healing, because everything will still kill you in one hit, so... And then you can just farm Metal Pirates. You're gonna want supers for Metal Pirates, so... Here, going into this room, you're gonna want to take advantage of D-Boost. So the Holtz does a lot of damage. In fact, it does, like, 60, whereas these little farm bugs deal 10. So what I'm gonna do is... avoid the first horse, and then take damage to the Zebos, and then you can deboost across. Very simple, saves you a lot of health. Now, once you get to here, you're gonna want to farm. You absolutely want to farm to full, and this is kind of the big. Is asterisk the right word? I don't know, but this part is very hard. Well, first of all, I'm at full supers already, so I'm going to go to the door and super it open. But the thing about this fight is, I'm not going to go over the Ridley fight at all. There is a tutorial for that, and also I'm expecting you to know how to do Ridley, but the thing is, this is much tighter than standard low percent. Or low percent ice, because the thing is about this fight, you don't have Gravity Suit, basically, so if you were to... This is basically the equivalent of having one E-Tank with Gravity. So normally in standard low percent ice, you get one E-Tank or two E-Tanks in Grav, which gives 399 health, or no, 299 health, whereas here you have 399 health, but no Varia, or no Gravity, which is the equivalent of 200 health, which is basically 199. Which means that you have basically one E-Tank worth of health. I'm gonna show you a Ridley fight. I'm not gonna go over it though, but I use Matrix strat, so I'm going to post a link to that in chat. So that is Matrix Ridley tutorial, and I'm basically just gonna do what it shows. One thing I'm going to talk about actually before going to that far into the fight is you can use your reserve tank as well. It's like if you drain your reserve to be decently low, you can basically get a free hit on Ridley. That's bad. So I was already talking and running my big mouth, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain this to be decently low. And not think about it. Set it to auto. I get a free hit on Rid because of that. Yes, this Ridley fight is harder than standard low percent. So with good manipulation, Ridley shouldn't be too bad, but you're gonna have to put a lot of time into the fight to get it to a point where it's acceptable enough for this category. Like, you have to really understand the ins and outs of Ridley. Now, escaping lower Norfair. It's significantly harder than entering, so... okay. Right, the first thing you want to do before anything else is you want to get full power bombs. Actually, no, I don't think full power bombs matters as much, but you want to get full health more than anything else. Fill up your entire tank and your entire reserve. It will usually end up filling up all your ammo as well. So I'm just gonna do some farming here. It's not as important to farm the full ammo, it just kind of happens. Okay. No, let's see. I think the next one will fill me up. Yeah. So then what I do is I go here, and then deboost into this room. And then I do more deboost off the farm bugs. I took a hit from the Hulks. So what I'm going to do as a response to that is I'm going to farm one of these guys. My ammo doesn't really matter. What matters the most is getting out of here. So this room... I'm just going to go through like this. Try to take as few hits as I possibly can. Alright, one hit is good. Now for this next room, what I do, I'm going to make a save state here, is I get my power bombs ready. And then once I get to this point, so like the white is like right next to the white of the door frame is at the edge of the screen basically. I lay a power bomb. Once it explodes, I start moving to the left. Actually, I was just barely off target right there. So you need to have the white actually touching the white of the door actually touching the wall. My bad. It's like right there. Okay, that was a bit early. Once the power bomb explodes, then you can start moving. And usually that makes it so that the key hunter up here is not in the way. Because you want the key hunter to not be in the way so you can get to that save room. So I'll show you what normally happens when doing this. So normally, if you aren't careful, you just kind of go over to here, lay a PB, lay a bomb, and then you have a friendly neighborhood key hunter just sitting up there, ready to block your path. But if you lay the power bomb as early as you can, so like hit the white side of the door, like even that should be okay. Wait for it to start exploding, the key hunter won't be there. And then you can just beeline for the save. And then once you're in the save room, first thing you want to do before actually saving, turn your reserve on the manual. Because remember that pause abuse trick I talked about back in early X-Ray? You can do that here as well. So this area I don't really have a good strat for. If you have... because I know there's a strat you can do to separate these key hunters up here, but I don't understand how to do it, so I usually end up taking a hit from them. So, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I call everything a friendly neighborhood something. Alright, that's fine. But what's going to happen is I normally would not have enough health to get through, but I'm going to pause abuse the key hunters. Pause abuse is my excuse for not being good at the game, basically. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to... This is the one spot in the run where I actually pause abuse. So my reserve is on manual right now, and then what I do is... I basically do morph jump. I jump and then do morph, which usually does not push you back down, and then... Actually, I should totally make a save state. F5... What is... I don't think I have a good save state. Anyway, but what I do is I jump in morph, and then I pause right before hitting the key hunter. And then what I do is I just use a power bomb to make the screen lag to blow up those things. Do I have I do have a good save state, good. I'm gonna carry this back over. Because I kind of want to show this off in a bit more detail. So I'm gonna save this to F10. That means literally nothing to y'all in chat. Or watching this wherever. Okay, so in here... I'm just gonna make a save state right there. But like I stay on the right side, so I misdirect that key hunter to be at the right wall, basically. And then I just go in there. But like, if I were to just like the spikes in Maridia, that just pushed me to the left. So like, if I'm... Let's see if I can try and do this. Basically, if I wall jump up there without morphing, it's going to push me right back down. So again, I am at 0 health, but the game is not displaying 0 properly, so... Like, again, if you don't do the morph, then you will just get knocked right back down. So, like, it pushes you backwards, and there's a good chance... Well, on the first one, it doesn't matter as much, but, like, let's say you're trying to do that, you can see it's, like, pushing you back. And there's a very good chance that it's gonna knock you down like that. Whereas, if you are morphed, it's gonna keep your upward momentum, even if you just, like, base plant the guy instantly, so... It's like, that would... If I did not morph there, I would have been knocked right back down into the pit, and it would not have been fun. But because I morphed, it sent me going upward, so I was still able to continue on. Then on the last one, I set my reserve to auto, and you have to be careful here, but like, my strat is just to use lag, so the power bomb does not actually kill the key hunter, so like, you cannot use key hunter iframes, basically. So you have to go under the key hunter like that, but it's really safe because you have the world's biggest window with the power bomb because, you know, it lags the game to heck, basically. But like, once you're out of there, you can just continue on. My reserve tank is on auto, so I don't have to worry about dying, though I would rather not get hit. one thing worth noting is I'm not in health bomb right now. So I am going to take the ship refill because it's efficient. You absolutely do not want to rely on Turian drops for health. And also, one thing worth noting is once you enter Turian, you can't really leave Turian. So don't plan to leave Turian for any reason, though there's not really any need to in this run. But like, the only reason you would want to leave Turian is if your ammo is screwed up or your health is messed up. But you just need to not enter with bad health and not enter with screwed up ammo. That's really what it comes down to. So when it comes down to it, there's not really... I don't know if there's really anything that's extremely hard to do in this run. Oh, and of course, you are not going to be going through Mount Everest to get the Turian, especially because the tube's not even broken. You are going to go through Red Tower. And, well, messed that up a little bit, but that's okay. And yeah, I'm gonna ship refill just to get my reserve entirely full. Because that's something you don't want to mess with. You need your reserve tank to be full. Because any health you don't have in your reserve is health you don't have for Mother Brain. Because once you are past the Metroids, you have no way of refilling your reserve tank. So I'm just going to power bomb here. Make a save, because you would probably save here in-game. And yeah, you have 14 items and are headed to Turian. Now, one thing I will say is I'm not going to go into detail about the Turian strats and Mother Brain and all that. Basically, everything you see here is like, I could straight up end a tutorial right now and call it a day. Because, like, you already know how to fight Mother Brain. Turian is pretty self-explanatory. Like, there's nothing I can really tell you here that you would really need to know. But for completion's sake, I will do Turian. So again, this is very standard end-of-run stuff. So one thing I will say about Turian is you need to be careful about the acid, because you don't have normal movement in acid. It also destroys your health. And well, not having Varia also not having gravity also destroys your health, because normally, if you are watching this tutorial, there's a good chance that you are used to having Gravity Suit, and if you are not used to gravityless movement in acid, Turian acid, or just the health disparity, because you effectively have half the health you are used to. And you just cannot touch your reserve tank either, because, well, you really should not touch your reserve tank because you cannot fill that up in a refill station after the baby Metroid. And you absolutely need that health to survive Mother Brain. I'm going to make a save state there. I made 2 save states on accident. Doesn't really matter. So yeah, the Metroids drain your health like crazy. In fact, I'm gonna die. So if you're not careful, the Metroids will absolutely body you. And also your movement is crap in here, in the lava or acid. So, what you need to do, just go through Turian. Make sure you end in the last room with 10 supers. If you don't, it's okay, because you can missile all the doors. It's just slow. Nice Kojak. So in this last room, I'm going to just farm for a super. Or actually, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna... I get my super, which is good. You're very likely to get it, but... Oh well. Here, just watch your health. Because you can get put into a situation where the health alarm will not go off. And you can die. Actually, give me a moment. I'm going to save state here. Okay, well, the health alarm is going to go off for me, but let's say, does this work? I'm going to get to here. No, you're not going to be able to see. But you can get into a situation where your health alarm will not actually go off until you die, basically. So do not rely on the health alarm to stop taking damage. Watch your health very carefully when damaging down. Because the blue side hopper deals 40 damage, and the health alarm starts at 30. So you can just be waiting for the health alarm and then accidentally kill yourself, basically, because you weren't paying attention. Which really sucks. I've definitely died that way before, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, you need to missile the first 2 doors, and then you can either missile the last one or super last one. This is literally just standard low percent ice at this point. The only difference is you do not have Gravity Suit, which it makes the Mother Brain fight a bit harder, but not really. I mean, Mother Brain is slightly less lenient now, but you still only need 3 tanks to survive. It's about as lenient as before. You need to have the same skill set. It's not like... yeah. It's not much harder. So, you can save here if you want. I'm not gonna save because I don't need to. Because I have save states. But you would normally save there. And then... This is literally exactly the same as normal low percent ice. Well, actually, let me just do that one more time. Okay, so I'm just going to do my standard fight. Not gonna pay too much attention in the chat or say too much at this point. Okay, there is a Mother Brain fight. So that was I'll be honest, that was the reason I was worried about including terrain in the tutorial, because Mother Brain is kinda not interesting. And also really risky. But 23 health. And well, at this point, the run's basically over. You know what happens next. Baby Metroid comes in to try and save you, and well, you have this time to relax and consider this run. And hopefully you got to this point, because like, my entire goal for this tutorial really is to just teach someone how to do this category, basically. Well, I don't know. I might end up redoing this tutorial sometime in the future, but my idea with this tutorial was to walk someone through the category. Like, basically go step by step, help them out along the way, show them what sorts of things they needed to do. So I may have glossed over some things, so I'll be honest, if you have anything you want to say about this tutorial, you can always post about it in the YouTube comments, or, well, I guess you can also shoot me a DM. I'm more likely to respond to my DMs than to comment on YouTube, because, like, I don't usually check those very often. But, I check my DMs on Discord pretty frequently. You can find me there. But yeah. I am receptive to feedback, and if there's anything that you feel I need to cover a bit better, I can make a separate tutorial as well. Update my description, just like all that sort of fun stuff. But for now, I'm just gonna finish off the run and go to the end of the credits and call it a day, honestly. But yeah, as you can see, I hope to show you that this category is not as intimidating as you once thought. Because, like, I imagine that people that may be watching this on YouTube, I guess, well, that's where most y'all will be watching, you might have thought, this category looks really intimidating, but there's only a few really problematic areas. But, like, once you get past those very few areas, the rest of it is kind of streamlined. Yeah, well, gotta save the animals, of course. And, well, maybe, you know what? It's never too late for propaganda. If this tutorial did help you, I would appreciate it if you saved the animals for me. Wink, wink. If not, that's okay, but please save the animals. They deserve to live. I guess you have been seeing them running all stream. I didn't really think about that. But of course, I'm gonna go to them. Well, if I can even get up the climb, that is. But yeah. I really hope this tutorial helps someone. I was kind of scattered a little bit throughout the tutorial, but I really hope it does help. So yeah. Save the animals, and let's go. Alright. And that is it. Thank you, Frobber. I guess it is GG after all. Because I guess, yeah, I did start from the beginning, went to the end, used a lot of save states, but still, thank you. This is not the newer version of the practice hack, this is the old one. Seems cheated. But yeah. I think I did most of my closing remarks already. But yeah. Again, I may end up redoing this tutorial in the future. If I do, you can find that newer link in the description on YouTube, or just somewhere. Again, I'm also gonna put a plug into the crocomi.re link, crocomi 222. You'll find a tutorial there. Unless crocomi goes down, which is very likely. Don't know when it's supposed to crash. But yeah. I'm going to let the credits roll. If there's anything anyone wants to say about this, feel free to let me know, or just say it. I guess that's a better way to say it, yeah. I am going to cut this very soon. Yeah, oh yeah, I guess a few shout-outs to important people. So first of all, ED for doing a lot of the back work with the category, just like ED knows his stuff. I also want to give a shout out to Natter because they kind of gave the inspiration to do this. Because, I was like, I gotta do something because Natter was a very generous person. So, yeah, I decided to do this. Also, one more shout out goes to King of the Hill 47 for really pushing low percent as well. It's like, I feel like he's one of the people that he's the one that really got me to grind this down because, like, we kind of pushed each other in low percent, like, way back when. And, yeah, shouts to King. We miss you, King. Produced by Deer Force. And as you can see, 14%. So, this is a official run. Well, it is not because I used a bunch of save states, but it is officially 14%. So, if you follow that same route, except don't use all the save states that I used, you will have yourself a low percent X Ice PB. Yeah. I do not believe I have anything else to say about this tutorial, but yeah. Thank you all for watching, and again, I really hope this helps if anyone out wants to learn the category. And yeah, good luck with all your low percent X-Ice endeavors. Looking forward to just hoping someone posts something to leaderboard or it. Yeah, I just love this category, honestly. Yeah, thank y'all for watching again. Take care.